There it goes.
I'm waiting for you to
No,
say
it's gonna be.
hello.
Well, it kind of hesitated
Hello?
for a second, but now we're going live everywhere, so that's a good thing. So, hello world, how you doing? Happy pre-holiday if you're in the U.S. I am just getting things ready for the show. So as usual, we're going to hang out for about 5 minutes or so, and then we will start the show officially at 8 o'clock. So, are you've been down there all week, huh?
I have been down here. I am down near the shore, everyone. So, there's a little bit of actually there's a lot of bit of lightning around, but you can't see it through my shades back there. So if you hear any loud booming, that's what it is. But yeah, I've been down here and the weather has been sweltering. Not as bad as inland, because inland is really
Yeah.
bad.
At least you've got the
So
breeze
up by
there.
you, you're probably dying. Yeah, yeah. But it's looking pretty good. But it's actually been pretty light for the holidays. Not as many people as usual,
Well,
but we'll see
Wednesday,
what happens.
it's a lousy day for a
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah, exactly. It's sort of in the middle of the week, so no one's taking long weekends or anything. But we're having a good time.
Oh shoot! I
The water
forgot to
is
change the.
freezing.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm gonna just. I had to adjust Periscope. I forgot to change the title, so I'm just gonna stop that one. But everybody else is still
Okay.
alive, so you can talk to them.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're heading anywhere near the Jersey Shore, the water so far is still pretty cold. It was like 62 degrees, so it's not really swimming weather. It's sort of dipping weather. Dip in, dip out. Just a cool off kind of thing. But other than that, it's supposed to be pretty nice. Pretty nice week. So hope everybody else is having a good time out there, and hopefully the work week isn't killing you yet. It happens. It
Well, that's
happens.
the way it goes with a holiday weekend, right? Either everything gets deathly quiet, or
Yeah,
everybody tries to jam all the work into a couple of days.
exactly. And I love being down here because I have fabulous lighting down here. I have overhead lighting, so I'm lit up. It doesn't look like I'm in a funeral parlor somewhere. So it's fantastic. What have you been doing? How's the puppy doing in all this heat? How's Murphy doing?
Well, yeah, he's not a major fan of the heat, that's for sure. And I mean, he's been doing pretty good because the fireworks around here started Thursday, which
Okay.
I thought was a
Wow.
little excessive. Um, he's fine as long as he's inside. If he's inside, I turn the TV or the music up a little bit, and then he's very good at making believe that there's no big scary noises out there. If not, then it gets a little hairy. Like the dog walker came to let him out today. Just as I stepped out the door, the thunder and lightning started. So of course
Mm.
he didn't want to go then, and while he is a bit of a pain about going for walks with anybody but me, in this case I understood. It's like, yes, okay, thunder and lightning is not a good time for anybody to be out there,
No.
including the
No.
puppy and the dog walker.
It's like a
Um,
prelude to fireworks.
yes, so the dog walker was good. He stayed. He waited for a gap in the storms. He was watching the radar. It's so funny. And then he took him out back so that the dog could do what he needed to do. Brought him back in, kept playing with him and everything. So it worked out fine. But
Interesting. I was just looking. I was just looking at the news, and I think it might have been California because of all of the wildfires. I might be wrong on that, but instead of fireworks, they're using lighted drones to create like a display instead of the fireworks. So
yeah,
they got all these drones going up. Do you see that?
well, yeah, that's becoming a nice high tech solution to the problem. And
That's
also
cool.
very cool. I think they did it too for, was it the Olympics or something that they had done
Yeah.
that, and somebody else, somebody was doing an outdoor concert, probably Taylor Swift, somebody like that.
Right.
But they do all that kind of cool stuff with. It's like they get like hundreds of remote drones and they program them, but then they also have people on the controls in case they go a little wonky.
It's like, how much is that? What towns have that much money to do a drone display instead of fire? I thought fireworks were a lot of money.
Well, I'm
But who
sure it's
knows?
probably cheaper than the fireworks because there's not as much liability
Reusable.
insurance just to start.
No. Well, you can still lose a finger.
Yeah, but it's not like you're going to set
Those
the whole,
drones.
county on fire or anything.
I know, I know.
And I'm sure that they've got
They've
a lot of people out there that are looking for an excuse to use their uh, drones.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
they probably have
I'm
got people
sure.
volunteering to be part of it because it's so limited on where you can actually use the drones.
You see it up there. It's like battle bots. The drones would be like bumping into each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, hopefully we won't bump into each other tonight. We've got a great show planned. We're going to be talking about hot job industries and opportunities for business analysts. So areas where it's hot for the BAs, and and give you some tips on how to locate those jobs as well. And that's coming to you live in just a couple of seconds. I guess we're at 7:59. I don't know how many seconds. Oh, and there we go. It's 8 o'clock, Kathleen. So I will turn my trusty baton over to you.
Perfect timing. I think I just got everything where it needed to be.
There you go. Kathleen's leading tonight, so I'm playing in the field.
Oh, right there.
Carry on tonight.
Yeah. We'll see how it ends.
Yeah, I know. I try not to take over. Slap my hands.
Feel free. It's all part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, world. How you doing? Thanks so much for coming by on this pre-holiday in the U.S. We're very glad to have you here. This is the BA Zone Live, where we provide information, tips, and general entertainment for our fellow business analysts and anybody else working collecting requirements. There's lots of people, lots of job titles, which is kind of a tease, who are involved in the process, and we're all one big happy family here sharing tips and ideas. My name is Kathleen Sinnott, and my co-host will introduce herself.
I'm Marianne Morrison, and we're here to give you, well, yes, there you go. That's why I said, show yourself.
I'm the disembodied voice.
She's the disembodied voice. Her hand is actually up my back, and her voice is coming out of my mouth. No.
And we'd be more high-tech than that. It would be some sort of remote control thing.
That's right. It'd be robotics involved, artificial intelligence or something.
I'm actually Disney.
Oh, geez. There we go. But yeah, so, and we are the BA Zone, and we're here to help you with everything business analyst. And did you already say that already?
I did. I don't know. Did you just give your name? Did I just sidetrack you?
I was looking at myself. The people, I was just smiling and a voice was coming out of nowhere.
I'll bring your name up for you. There you go.
Oh my gosh. And if you're looking to find a night out there, you can find us in all the usual places. You can absolutely go to our website. And feel free to drop us any comments or messages during the show or after on the BAZone.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. We are everywhere. And we're here to help you. So please feel free to comment during the show. If you have any questions, again, Kathleen, they'll come up on the screen, hopefully tonight. And if you have any suggestions for future shows or comments, please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you, and we're here for you. And that's what it's all about. So that's our little prelude to tonight's entertainment. Okay, Kathleen?
There we go. All right. See, I thought I had everything in place, and I was lying. But we're all in place now, she says optimistically, until Mayor loses power because of the storm.
Fingers crossed.
If she disappears, it's not because she didn't want to be here with us. It will be that
right.
Power is greater than us, and nope, no power for you.
That's right. It's not because that martini is right over there. No, not at all. No, only kidding.
Well, we need your area to stay with power. Okay, so it is, well, basically it's all-star break almost. So we're almost in the middle of the summer, and as usual, I have started getting people reaching out to me, whether it's the people themselves or their parental units, looking for advice because the graduates, the about to graduate, or people who are just looking for a change are looking for job search advice. So we thought that this was a good time to dredge up this topic again because it is evergreen. Everybody somewhere is always looking for a new job. So tonight we are going to cover some of the hot industries for business analysts, really business people in general. And then if you stick around till the end, we're also going to provide you with some of our favorite alternative titles because, why limit yourself to the BA title when the same skill set and really the same job is out there under different names. So that is the nutshell.
A lot of people definitely don't know when they're putting these jobs out there what a business analyst does or what other titles are. So you can find a job just about anywhere under any title. So we'll go over that.
This is true. A lot of times they don't know what they're asking for, and sometimes when you're reading the job description, that's very clear.
Yes, we'll get a lot of feedback saying, oh, no, that's not what this person does, that role does. And it's like, oh, we know that, but apparently the people who are putting the ads out don't know that. So you too can find a job as a BA.
They're looking for your basic, astronaut, brain surgeon, astrophysicist, business analyst, chef, and gopher.
There you go.
And I wish I was kidding.
Yeah, I know.
And as always, if you know somebody who could use this information or is just entertained by our little stand-up act, please feel free to invite them. And also please remember to follow, like, and turn on notifications wherever you are, so that way you'll get notified about when we're going live. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, there are all kinds of exciting things happening in all kinds of industries, and so we have picked out the ones where we're seeing the most activity on our side of the fence, so BAs, business folks, that kind of thing. And the first one, not surprising to anybody who follows the show, is healthcare. Yes, it's a recurring topic with us because we keep landing there, but also because it is a booming industry right now, no matter where you are. Obviously, you know, there are some concentrated zones, like, for example, here in Jersey, we've still got a fair number of pharmaceutical and other healthcare-related companies, insurance companies, and all that kind of stuff. I know Switzerland is a very hot area for that kind of thing. But at this point, it's pretty much everywhere because everybody's looking to get in on this game. And you can see it if you're keeping an eye on the news with all the very interesting partnerships that are happening. They're not really mergers, but, you know, we're seeing like strange triangulations of companies get together because they're going to solve the healthcare issue. And I hope somebody does. But in the meantime, while all this is going on, everybody needs our help because everybody's got thousands of ideas they're throwing around and they need somebody to be able to collect and organize and document and help them sort through everything so that they can then identify which is the most likely to succeed. So, yep. Wherever you are, even if it's an area that maybe traditionally doesn't have a reputation for healthcare jobs, I'd take a close look. Also, because there's such a need, this is also a great area for remote work. So definitely keep your eye out if you are at all open to that, because this is another great opportunity for that type of thing. Anything you want to toss in there on that one?
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, there are sort of not yet mergers, but I like to call them mashups. There's a lot of mashups of folks that are just in business deciding to get into healthcare, and it's making a huge stir in the industry across, like Kathleen was saying, pharmaceuticals, hospitals. Are sort of this dehospitalization is sort of happening where things are popping up all over the place, sort of outside the four hospital walls. So it's an exciting time really in healthcare as we go through this next generation or formation of whatever our healthcare is going to be. So there's plenty of opportunity there. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, Amazon went and did it again, and they seem to have taken most people by surprise when they purchased PillPack, which is how I get my medications. Because why leave the house?
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I've been using them since I first heard about them. It's been a couple of years now. It's great. You know, they send it to you. It comes in a little packet, tells you when and what day and what time to take it. It's all kinds of awesome. But I mean, that's just once because they're in partnership, and I can't remember who's with who now, but I know that they're in partnership with one of the healthcare companies and some business company. Walmart is doing it. Google obviously is doing it. Microsoft is doing it.
CVS is getting into it.
So there's all kinds of partnerships I can't imagine happening any other way happening. So definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, and there's actually one small statistic that I'll add. That I looked at the CDC, and in hospitals and emergency, this is a huge opportunity, even in emergency rooms. The statistics, they're always back a couple of years, but the 2015 statistics for the US alone had 136.9 million visits to the emergency room, of which only 12.3 million actually resulted in a hospital admission. So there's a huge opportunity to pull people away from these ERs to all these different things. And there's going to be a big need for business analysts to manage the interoperability of all these satellite type things, and consolidation of data and electronic health records and prescription tracking and compliance tracking, et cetera. So that's a huge number. That's a lot of business right there.
Oh, yeah.
That people are just using, the ER for doctor visits or small things or whatever. They're popping up everywhere. So it's a very good sector area to get into as a business analyst.
And I mean, that's just one small piece of it. When you start to put in insurance and all the rest of it, it just keeps getting bigger. And if you were hearing a strange noise, evidently something must be going on because we've got helicopters over the house again. So here we go again.
What did you do?
It's not me. I'm good. I'm clean. Everything's good here. Usually there's a major road not too far from here, and usually there's something going on there that when this is happening, and
Sure.
they're all
They
disappointed
break
because
down
it's
her door,
after the
folks.
6 o'clock news, so they have to hold their video until 10. This is also a good time just to throw in. So as we're mentioning these things, don't dismiss them just because you haven't worked in them yet. Because remember, your specialty is collecting all the information, organizing the chaos, writing the requirements documentation, knowing what questions to ask. They have people to be the subject matter experts in all these different areas that we're going to talk about. So if you have any interest in any of these, please don't let that, dissuade you from applying, because they need your skills. They already have their skills. My new favorite way of explaining that one.
So just pick something you're interested in and go for it, basically.
Exactly. All right, so healthcare was the obvious one. We've got that one out of the way. So the next one that is been growing for a while, and it has gotten very, very hot, and all the forecasts are looking like this is going to go on for a while, is nonprofits. Now, the good thing for us is nonprofit does not mean that you're working for free. But nonprofits are focused in on some particular cause and looking to help people that need the help in that cause, or the animals, or whatever the cause is. And it is another type of industry where, again, they are dealing with lots of data, and they have lots of projects going on, and they're always looking to streamline and enhance things. And with the growth of all of this type of thing, there's lots of jobs out there for us. So again, it's the kind of thing where you could even pick your favorite cause and maybe go end up working for a group that is focused on that cause. So not only are you using your skills, and having a job and paying your bills, but you're also furthering your cause, which is pretty much the win-win-win scenario everybody dreams of.
Right. And learning how a nonprofit functions.
Right, because they are in a little universe unto themselves. But that, for me, that's always, the fun part of going from one industry to another, is learning all the specialties. I have a few friends who work for different nonprofits. And several of them came from traditional corporate America, and it was funny when they first started, the complete mind shift that had to happen. They're like, wow, this is so different, where I thought it was going to be the same, and so the same where I thought it would be different. But most of them now have been doing it for quite a while, and they highly recommend it. I reached out to a couple of them. I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about this tonight. Is this still a good thing? Are you still happy with what you're doing? They're like, yeah, absolutely. I recommend it to anybody who wants to jump in and do. So definitely another one to look at. Okay, next up is green energy. Okay, so this, I think, pretty much speaks for itself, but we're talking basically any alternative to, oil, gas, that type of thing. Massively huge right now. All you have to do is drive around anybody's neighborhood and see all the solar panels that are popping up on people's roofs to know that this is very mainstream now. Everybody's very interested, looking for, other ways to power all of the lovely devices that we all live off of, without maybe doing quite so much damage to the world, and air and all that kind of stuff. So another big area, lots of scientific stuff if you are leaning that way, but some of them are more like device kind of things that help to either economize, or are used to collect the solar or the water or the wind and turning that into energy. So again, lots of variety, lots of opportunity, and again, a chance to maybe work with people who are trying to do something good in the world, which personally I'm a fan of.
Yeah, you go. And the key word there is sustainable. Everybody's looking for that keyword, sustainable.
Yep.
And like Kathleen said, it may not just be in the energy area, it's also in construction and agriculture. So,
yep.
If you're into farming or into construction, it's there as well too, the green energy. So plenty of opportunities in that area too.
Yeah, that definitely, they're looking for, materials to build, buildings and houses and roads. I just saw one, because we're dumping so much plastic into the ocean that we're doing all kinds of damage. So now somebody is working on actually a couple different teams are working on a way to recycle plastic, like bottles and stuff like that, and use it as paving material. Sign me up, that sounds great. So yeah, again, lots of variety, lots of opportunity for creative thinking, because these are problems that don't have prepackaged solutions. So definitely something that you can dive in on and again, participate. Yep. And then number 4 is mobility technology. So that would be your self-driving or autonomous vehicles. Everybody is getting in on this game, the car companies, the tech companies, anybody basically, who can identify what a wheel is trying to find a way to tap into this. There's so much potential for this type of thing if they can work out all the little details and then get the humans to get over the, I guess, natural concern over being in a car that you don't have control over, that nobody else in the car has control over. There are definitely some concerns around that.
And most of the time, I'm in the passenger seat and I have no control anyway. So it's
but you do know that there's a person that you trust behind the wheel.
Well, until they get the kinks worked out, we'll keep our eyes on the road just until they get the kinks worked out.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure for a while there'd be some sort of mid-range, emergency brake kind of a thing. But it's another area where, there's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of, if you'll pardon the pun, moving parts. So, it's not even just so much the companies that are designing the technology to make these vehicles self-driving, autonomous, however you prefer to refer to it, because it's going to require different electronics. It's going to, different sensors. It's going to probably completely change our idea of what a car looks like, what a truck looks like. So lots and lots of opportunity here.
Yeah, there'll be even opportunities in the mapping area, because all of this, anywhere the GPS or whatever they're calling it today, all of that gridding and the mapping that has to be done, definitely an opportunity in that area as well.
Yeah, and all the support stuff, to triangulate, and they'll probably, in most cases, people are starting to agree that the vehicles will be communicating, amongst themselves to help, keep the buffer zones clear and all that. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on. Very cool. And us being humans, there'll be probably a big surge in car entertainment. Because
yes, I'm sure the cars will be cursing at each other.
Well, the cars will be cursing at each other as we're, playing video games or watching movies or who knows, making movies. I mean, who the heck knows what they're going to come up with? Maybe playing Fortnite, which is a whole other thing.
Move your bumper, move your bumper. Oh, God.
Maybe with the local dialects, it's all kinds of. What was that? The Schwarzenegger movie, the Johnny Car. Which movie was that?
That was the Mars one. What was that? Somebody's got to remember that. It's about Mars, the whole Mars thing.
Yeah.
He rips the little guy out
Total
of his
Recall.
Suit.
Total Recall. That's it.
Of which we have none, apparently.
Yes, well, clearly. Well, we do. It's just called Google. We have complete recall on everything, as long as you have access to Google. Yes, so if you start to think about it, there's all kinds of ripple effects from all these. I mean, these are only 4. We've got another 4 for you, but just looking at these, you kind of see a repeating pattern here. There is a definite, for this grouping at least, skewing towards trying to do good, trying to help, whether we're helping humans or the earth or some combination thereof. It's all good. So it's all good. So we're going to just take a little break here and remind you that if you would like to stay on top of things, if you'd like to be the first people to know what's coming, and by the way, there's an email going out tomorrow to these very people. Our insiders are on the mailing list, and if you would like to join them and get the inside line, you can go to thebazone.com/mailing list and sign up to join our mailing list. Amazingly enough, a one-to-one relationship there. Yes, and you don't have to worry because we don't sell it. We are not going to give it to anybody like certain other companies we know. This is simply so that we have a way to communicate to you, and if at any point you change your mind, it is easy to get off the list. You just say unsubscribe and you are done. So no problem. Signing up is a two-factor. That's not two. What do they call that? Oh, well, we'll go with two-factor for right now because my brain's gone. So you'll sign up on the form on thebazone.com/mailing list. Then you will get an email asking you to verify that, yes, you really meant this. When you say yes, then you will start to get the emails. Really simple, but that way you can rest assured that, nobody has signed you up. You made that choice. Okay? And as usual, if you know anybody who is in the BA world, would like to join the BA world, please let them know about us, because the more people that come and ask questions, the better shows you will get, because we will have more material for you. Right. You can also visit us at thebazone.com or at Twitter at the BA Zone. If you have questions, comments, if you have show ideas, if you have a topic you want us to cover, just let us know, and we are more than happy to add that to the shows that we have scheduled, because frankly, most of our good ideas come from you. So see how that works. True. You ask us a question, we get a show, everybody benefits. It's a good thing.
And if you're aware of a sector tonight that we don't cover, and one that is maybe hot right now, just drop us a comment and we'll put it on the air. So
absolutely,
that's it for business.
Okay. Oh, hello, Amy. I'm sorry I didn't even notice. So
Hi,
Amy's
Amy.
finding our switch side by side confusing still.
Oh, well, listen, at least you're getting the comments this week. Last week, I Amy was obviously commenting, but I couldn't see anything last week on any of my iPad jerry rig type deal going on. Kathleen has all the fancy equipment, and I just show up with, my microphone and my camera.
Oops.
That's about it.
Sorry, I just
So when
recorded.
she's off, we do have issues. We'll
Well,
try to rectify those.
it's
But
all a
thanks for
challenge,
joining.
right? That's all the
Uh,
technology.
it's true. But thanks for
And
joining last week anyway. Well, I didn't
yes,
get to see you.
Amy pitches in every chance she gets. She's very good that way.
Mhm.
She's a friend of the show. What? Wait, that's not the one. I said send this one. Add to queue, and then send.
I'm looking
So-
down periodically so I can see the message.
And it's not working.
It's
Oh,
not
well,
that I'm
that's a
falling
drag.
asleep.
For some reason, it's not working. Now, I tested it before the show. I have proof that I tested it because I had people come and see that I
Is
was
it
testing.
cached? That sounds like maybe it's cached.
I am going to shut it down and give it a try again just to see because, hey.
But in the meantime, you can verbalize comments. You're getting
I
there,
can,
right?
but it's so much more fun when they come up. Let's see. Let me try
I
this
know.
one more
But in the
time and then I'll
meantime-
give up on it.
In the
Let's
meantime,
see.
I could comment
Did that
on
work?
the comments.
There
I
we
am
go.
an insider. Oh, she's an insider. Good for you. All right, we haven't showed up at your house or anything yet. It's
See,
all good.
Amy will verify that your information is safe with
You're
us.
so sweet.
And she
Thank
enjoyed
you.
Marianne's solo show. So if you didn't catch that, that was
well,
last week. That was about mergers
was
and
so-
acquisitions.
And it was so funny, honestly, because I was trying to, for Periscope, I was using my phone, and I had my phone lined up with the camera, but for some odd reason, I guess I wasn't looking where the camera was exactly, and so I just sort of looked like the unknown VA. You could only see me like from here down. It was pretty entertaining.
It was
I
your
was
nose
laughing after I
up to the roof.
poor Periscope. I apologize, Periscope. It's too funny.
You
But we
tried. That's
digress.
the important thing. And
tried.
all they had to do was just treat it like a podcast and listen to what you had to say.
That's right. Close your eyes, sit back. Oh my gosh, that was interesting.
Well, we try. That's all we can
We do
do.
try.
And sometimes it works out better than others. That's just life.
That's right. So back to the hot areas.
Yeah, okay. So you want to take the next one?
Well, I don't know what it is. What is
Oh,
it?
I thought I saw your little marker there that was following along. But okay, no problem. I will jump in.
Oh,
So,
looking at us again.
she likes seeing herself on camera.
I'm off tonight. I'm sort of off. My whole day's been off. As Kathleen, you lead. I'll do the usual banter you do. So carry on.
No worries. Okay, so number 5 on our list of 8 top industries is biotechnology. So this is a lovely place. It's a combination of biology, technology, a lot of different sciences. And again, it kind of, goes back a little bit to the ones that we were talking about before again, because it is focused on trying to make the world a better place, make better use of our resources, but also to try to help move us forward by finding new solutions to things. So really, this is another one that can touch a lot of different industries. I mean, we put it under the umbrella of biotech, but it also includes things like medicine and agriculture and industry. Also, some building solutions are wrapped up in this. So basically, anything in the natural world or anything that we make use of and turn into other things from the natural world is under that umbrella. And this is another one that has been simmering for a while. I've noticed it as my nieces and nephews have been going to college that it was coming up more and more in the discussions about what they were going to go and study. And recently, it has absolutely exploded. Everybody is looking for people to work with this, and Amy, just for what it's worth, also a very hot area for legal between patents and people suing people who think that they're not doing good things instead of doing bad things for biology and nature and all that kind of stuff. So see, another crossover, just like the show I was on with Amy, when we talk to her people, she comes and visits us here because there is a lot of overlap in our worlds.
There is.
So
there is.
Amy, if you haven't seen a lot of biotech legal stuff yet, you will.
You will. And just because we're talking biotechnology, it's not that you have to be a scientist.
Nope.
There's areas for the business analysts in that sector that aren't directly related to creating the biotechnology, but there's a whole bunch of collateral things that have to be done, as Kathleen was saying. So don't let it freak you out. Like, you'll go in, you'll do a job search and you'll look under biotechnology and you'll see nothing but scientists and master's degrees. There are areas that you can get into as a business analyst. There's plenty of projects that are being worked on that need some of the user interactions that occur with some of the biotechnology. So don't let that scare you off from going into that area.
Yeah, I mean, that's
don't be scared.
We keep repeating this for a reason. We both run into people all the time. They're like, oh, so this great job posting. Oh, but they were looking for this one thing I don't have. That's okay. Job postings are wish lists. Okay, it's like writing to Santa. Dear Santa, I want everything. Okay, right. And when you get anything on the list, you're thrilled, and that's the same thing for them. Of course, if they find that unicorn that has everything, including brain surgery and professional chef and auto mechanic, of course they're going to hire that person. But just because you don't have one of those is no reason to not apply if you have the rest of the skill set, or if it's interesting enough to you and you've got a lot of the skill set, go ahead, give it a shot.
Absolutely.
All right, onward and upward. So we are now looking at one of my favorite little things, virtual reality, VR. So this is, of course, VR, and really I would have added to this probably, and I should have, since I'm the one who put the list together, VR and AR. So whether it's virtual reality or augmented reality, and I can explain that if people aren't quite, well, I'll just explain it. So VR is when you're putting on like the glasses, like, and you're completely immersed in whatever it is you're looking at, and you're blocked out from everything else. Augmented reality is more like the stuff you see like on the phone, and the simple example I give everybody is Pokemon, because Pokemon Go, because that's basically the example when you can go out with your phone, you run the app, and you see the little Pokemon, and you throw the ball, and you can collect them. It's a really simple example, but you get that idea. Another example of it is if you go and you are in a foreign country, or around here you just went to Chinatown, and you wanted to read the sign but you didn't speak the language, you can hold up the Google Translator on your phone and it will translate it for you. These are the types of things we're talking about when we say VR and AR. And this is, as you might expect, another booming area, another area where there's lots of projects going on. And while I have referenced the fun applications of it, it's also used for therapy, for job training. It's big in medicine and healthcare, education. It's one of these things that has so much potential. And you can, if you've not tried it, you can go and get like a Google Cardboard for $10. It literally is cardboard, and you fold it up, and it's got a couple lenses in it, and you can pop just about any phone in and load the app and get a feel for what it's like. If you really want to entertain yourself, do it, and then like have like family members do it, and then record them doing it, because that's entertainment in and of itself. But it is, yet again, another area where you don't have to be the VR expert, you don't have to be the augmented reality expert. You just need to do what you do, be a BA, pull the patterns out of the chaos, document, ask the right questions, build those requirements, follow it through the process, because it's another area that is just exploding all over the place. If I was going to pick one, I would say I would probably lean a little bit more towards the augmented reality. There's some issues around the virtual reality, starting with the hardware, that it's going, I think it's going to take a little longer for it to become more mainstream. It's very popular for gaming, but one of the things I wish everybody would work on, because I want to play those games, is a lot of us get nauseous when we play these games on the virtual reality.
I was just going to say that if you ever load the roller coaster one up, make sure you have a lot of pillows around, because you're going to throw that phone right off your eyeballs, because it does.
Well, not everybody, but it's just some of us are more sensitive to it. Yeah, so if you do want to try it, a lot of them now, sort of like movies, have ratings on them. A lot of the virtual reality apps and games have ratings on them now that let you know how much movement there is in it. Start low and work your way up to find out what your level is. But I'm so disappointed, because I love this stuff. I want to play with it, and I cannot. Some of them I can't do at all. Some of them I can only do for like 2 minutes. But there are other ones. So like one of my favorite ones when I'm a little stressed is National Geographic went down with their 360 cameras underwater, on top of mountains and everything. And because it's because it's nature, it's a little slower moving, and those are gorgeous to watch. And you've got a shark like right here. Very cool stuff. So if you haven't tried it and you want to, seriously, Google Cardboard is $10, and you can give it a try to see if this is something you're interested in. But it is another area where, while yes, it is very tech focused, you do not have to be a mega techie to do it, although you may decide that's fun for you once you get into it. But there is lots of businesses that are looking at it, trying to maximize on it, trying to make it useful, trying to monetize it. Hey, we've all got bills to pay. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, because you know, these are the kinds of things that not everybody will think of. But if you are thinking about trying something new, you know, cast a little bit of a wider net than maybe what you've been doing. Try something different, because that's what's fun about what we do, is we don't have to stay in the same discipline all the time. We have skills that are transferable across everything. I mean, I have yet to see an industry that doesn't need us on some level, so you can make use of that. So I'm entertaining Amy today. Yeah, I'm in a good mood today, actually. It's I got home early. Setting up the show wasn't chaos, so this all feeds into a more relaxed version of me.
Takes liquor for me.
That's
anyway,
next.
Yeah, that's next. Yeah, they are using a lot of the virtual reality in hospitals as well too. So they, you know, showing people their operations, how it all works, and all that fun stuff too. So
yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, it was obviously very future feat, but there was I think it was 1 or 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, which, yes, I'm way behind on because I don't watch shows normally. I wait until there's like 10 years of material and then plow through. But they were doing one with Christina where they were doing like a 3D yes, I know, a 3D projection of a heart, so they could see it from all different angles, because it was a pretty challenging case and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, that's way future thinking, but totally within the road. It kind of reminds me of like Star Trek back in the 60s, you know, when they had all these cool things and all these technologies, and yes, you know, here they are now. You know, unfortunately, we don't have the injections that don't need a needle, and we don't have the magic, you know, medical bed where they just go beep, 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 and then you're all fixed. But a lot of other cool stuff came out of that because it was future thinking, and that's sort of what all this stuff is. I'm sure there's a name for the beep, beep, beep. I just don't remember.
Yeah, typically when people are looking, you're right, when people are looking for jobs, the top 3 come up: healthcare, finance, and legal. I mean, that's your typical 3 top BAs. So like Kathleen said, branch out a little bit, because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on out there. For
sure. All right, number 7 is, and this is probably a given, technology. Yes, thank you. Again, I mean, this is one has been rolling for a while. The trick with technology is it's always changing, so that sort of keeps it evergreen and keeps it rolling forward. So there is, of course, just a ton of jobs out there, and again, even if you haven't done it so far, that's not a reason to not give it a try. Whether it's, you know, the big companies, I don't know what's going on, but I've been hearing a lot from IBM lately. But, you know, there's big, small, medium companies out there. They all are working on projects, in particular software development and hardware development projects. Absolutely. They're one of the areas that, you know, not only need us, but they know they need us, which is a nice thing. But there's lots of activity out there. There's lots of stuff going on. So whether, you know, if you want to try a startup or you want to go to a more experienced company, there's plenty of them out there. And this is another case, really in all these cases, including the next one that's coming up. If you're interested in that area, you can go and like pick a few companies and just sort of set yourself up with a news alert, or go on to Dice or Indeed or whatever job site you like. And you can set up an alert telling you, that says, you know, okay, when this company posts these kinds of jobs, send me an email, let me know. Which, hey, then you're using technology to find a technology job. How meta.
Right. And Kathleen, I'm sure you would agree that you and I, our soft spot is always the startups. I mean, Kathleen and I enjoy the challenge of the startup. So, so you can do that. You can get in on the footing of that and start out, and it's kind of fun rather than, you know, getting into the well-established ones. But whatever you feel comfortable with, the startups are a great place to learn a lot in a startup.
I mean, startups are fun just because it's new, and there's no legacy generally that you have to deal with, which is a rare and wonderful thing.
And you're a little looser in, you know.
Right, and it's the kind of thing, like, if you've been doing a job for a while, but you are curious about trying something else, usually they're okay with that because they don't have enough bodies to go around. So that can be a really cool thing if you're just looking to expand your skill set. You know, if you feel like you've pretty much maximized on what you've been doing, but you know, there's been something else you're interested in, or something else you've been wanting to try out a project, but maybe in a more traditional setting they weren't willing to try it. Startups will try it.
Yep. That's how they become big and rich.
Oh yes.
Speaking of big and rich,
So, yeah, well,
well,
nothing worse than
nothing
trying to
worse.
convince them that you can add value if they would just let you help, right? It's like, get out of my way and let me help you.
Yes,
Absolutely, Amy. Totally.
that's
And
right.
only
There's a new
because,
sheriff in town. Get out of the way, kind of
since I've
thing. Yeah.
already interrupted, Marianne just made me
Liquor
laugh out
comment.
loud. Liquor comment.
Right.
And you wonder why we all get along so
Yeah.
well.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God. And speaking of having a lot of money, the government's the next one up. Government jobs. Listen, don't knock them till you try them.
That's right.
There's plenty of things going on in the government, albeit a lot of times it moves a little slower. Sometimes a lot slower. So, if you're a little overzealous or anxious, maybe not the government's a place for you. However, if you're not that nice slow growth and giving you time to get in acclimated to things, the government's another great area to get involved. There's plenty of different branches of the government and
Right.
areas you can get involved in. Kathleen, I don't know if you have
Yeah, no,
any
that's
ones in
absolutely true. I mean,
particular.
people tend to think of the government as a single entity, but really it's hundreds of thousands of little pieces. So you don't necessarily have to get in the one that's pissing you off. You can find another one and try to do good to go that way. And I will say, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm noticing a reoccurring theme in a lot of them. And I agree, the need for anybody who is more on the technical side to get involved in the government stuff, because a lot of the time the people working on the tech projects in the government are not necessarily up to speed on their tech. Sometimes frighteningly so. Okay, we'll talk about tubes for the internet later. Um, but so certainly if you are in tech, that's the way to go. But I mean, you're talking healthcare, you're talking legal, you anything. I mean, basically, the government is, in theory, the best of us. And in some cases that happens. But there, all the different facets of us is available there. And so again, if there is something that you are interested in and you're looking to maybe even help improve things, it might be another place to look. The other plus, which has always been the thing with government work, in certain areas I think it's still fairly true, is once you get cleared to work in the government and you're working in the government, it kind of becomes a pretty easy move for you to stay there, because even if a certain project of yours gets finished, the fact that you are already familiar with the unique inner workings of government work, and you've gotten your clearances, it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy that it stays easy there if you'd like to.
Right.
And yeah, I kind of hoped you would say this, Amy, because that was in the back of my head. Government jobs are popular where she is in the DC area.
You think? Maybe.
One would think, right?
Now, there's also a lot of companies that work for the government. They do a lot of
Yes.
government work outside, outside of the actual government. A lot of times that's a little, projects, they have to bid on projects, so it's a little more stressful. So it's not exactly like government work, but there is that part of it as well.
Absolutely. So, if you want to go about it from a different angle, that is another way to go. And a lot of times you can identify those because in the job posting, they'll say that, it's a bonus if you have security clearance, but you need to at least be able to get it. So that's usually a
So
pretty
make sure
clear
you can get
indicator that if they're
It's
working on a
nice
government
work if you
project.
can get it, folks.
Exactly.
And if you can get it, won't you show me how? So let's show them how. Or do you want to
That's
do a
a
little
song,
bit?
right?
It is a song, but I'm not going to go there
Yeah.
because I could sing it. But so
All
why
right,
don't
well.
do we have a little business before we give the folks some nice tips on how
Yes.
to
For all you
find
folks that
some-
are powering through to the end with us, we have a little bonus piece of information for you. But in the meantime, we invite you to join our mailing list so that you will be on the inside track of all the new and exciting stuff that we are doing. She says, yeah, we are. It's new and exciting. The folks on our mailing list are the first ones to find out the show topics, anything new that we're doing, anything that's going on. So if you are interested in that, feel free to join up. It's easy as can be. You go to the bazone.com/mailing list. Very short form. I think, what are we asking for? Like first name and email? Pretty simple. You submit that. You will get a verification back. They ask you to, the service we use is MailChimp, and they ask you to verify that you have requested this. Once you do, then you're on the mailing list. And should you ever change your mind, it's a one-click unsubscribe. So really easy. Of course, we won't do that, but we understand. We won't take it personally. But easy enough, and you don't have to worry. We are only doing this so that we can communicate with you. We are not selling it. We do not have advertisers who are using it. Nobody sees it except the little robot that's out there running every time I say send that email. You can go ahead.
I mean, if you're going to sign up for the email, now's the time to do it, because we're going to be announcing something to those folks first, very shortly, like very shortly. This week?
Tomorrow, I'm hoping, yeah.
Tomorrow. So now's the time to sign up, folks. If there weren't a better time
special
before.
Bonus for those people.
So, anyway. All right, hi.
So that, if you have questions, comments, ideas for show topics, if you are experiencing a problem at work, or if you need a solution and you're not finding it quickly enough, reach out to us. We are easy enough to talk to. You can go to thebazone.com. There's a comment form there that you can fill out and let us know. Or you can tweet at us or DM us on Twitter. We're the BA Zone there also. Just let us know if you're going to do that, if it's something that you need a fast answer to, or if it's something that can wait for the next show. Because if you need a fast answer, we will get back to you quickly. If not, then we will wait for the next show. Okay? Easy enough? Alrighty. And also, if you go to the BA Zone, you can get like old shows and all that, but you can also find those on Facebook and Twitter and Periscope and all that kind of good stuff. So we try to make it easy. We try to let you use your favorite tool of choice. However you roll, we try to be there.
However you roll.
All right, so for you folks that have powered through and gotten through to everything, we have, okay, evidently you changed it, okay.
No, I didn't.
But yeah, I was just going to do 5. No, okay,
oh,
we're just, all right, we'll just use yours, okay, because we only need to use 5 for other reasons.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Easy enough. So we have 5 alternate titles. So the trick here is, and I'll let Mayor rip, a lot of people get very focused on, this is my job title, and that's what they go search for when they look for a job. And if you've caught our other sessions on this type of thing, we're a fan of, opening the door a little wider for ourselves, because the job title is really not the driving force here. It is the skill set that matters. So one of the things we say is always go and search the job title, but also search for your skills to see what comes up. And so along that line, we have 5 job titles that we see a lot that are very much BA work, even if they don't call it BA work. So I will let Mayor jump in here.
Right. And as I said before, we'll get a lot of pushback on some of these titles. Somebody might call in or comment in that, this particular title doesn't do this particular work. And that might be true. We seem to branch out a lot, even within our own business analyst title. However, the people who are putting ads out there, or the people who are, looking for particular people, don't always know the definition of these particular roles, but they do list the skill set. So as Kathleen said, there's a few here, 5 that I'm going to mention, that you can look at when you're doing a job search, and just scroll down in some of those jobs, if it catches your eye, to see if any of those skill sets are business analyst skill sets, and you'd be surprised at how many that you're going to find. The number 1 on the top of my list is product manager. Product managers, before there were something called product managers, a lot of times were business analysts. They're the ones who knew all the features, all the functions of the software. They were dealing directly with clients. They were sort of determining the why, when, and what of a product. And they're sort of responsible for defining the requirements, the product going forward, the features that are desired by the user, and sort of constructing that user experience. So if you'll look under, a lot of that work is cross-functional between a business analyst and they're bridging the gap between clients and technology a lot of the time. So if you're not finding anything under business analyst searches, look under product manager, and then just look at that skill set. And again, a lot of times there is not a product manager, but you are doing product manager work. Sometimes product managers also, manage whether a product, in sales-wise fails or not. That's sort of where it starts to branch out away from business analysis. But I've been a product manager before we hired a product manager. I'm sure Kathleen's been a product manager. Anything to add on the product manager title, Kat?
No, other than to say that it is a really close alignment to the BA title. For me, it's really just a different title in the same work. So this is a perfect example of why you should, maybe shop around a little bit more, because for me personally, I'm more focused on using my skills and finding interesting work to do, and whatever they call the title is fine by me.
That's right. Another thing too is a lot of times we look at strict business analysts, and sometimes if you just add a word to the front of business analyst, that will also work. So you'll see a lot of times, a good example is software business analyst. So, they can break down business analysts as you're only dealing with the business, and software analysts as you're only dealing with the software part. But bottom line is, you're developing technical solutions for the business. And you're defining and analyzing and actually documenting requirements in most cases. So that's a business analyst. So sometimes if you just take software and put it in front of business analysts, or I don't know what other interface business analysts, or any of those types of words, you'll be surprised at what comes up in the business search. And there are other ones too. Actually, the next one down, you can add a domain. That would be another one, a third one. So you could say healthcare business analyst, or financial business analyst, legal business analyst. And sometimes you will get a broader search when you're looking for positions than you would have if you just put in business analyst. Kathleen, software or domain interest you in any way before the business analyst, or anything to add to that?
To be honest, most of the time that's where I start mine, because I've worked in all kinds of different domains, but the techie stuff, the software particularly, that's one of my favorite areas because there's so much variety under that. So that's very often where I start to look. But again, just as a reminder, just because you haven't done tech or haven't done software doesn't mean you shouldn't. I like working with developers. I speak developer. So that for me, that's very often where I start looking around, just because it's always interesting to see what's out there, and sometimes more importantly, who's hiring out there. Because sometimes, even if I'm not interested in the job, it's an interesting insight into what might be coming down the pike from somebody. That's become a very popular hobby for some people, is watching the Amazon ones to see, because when they start looking for things, that usually indicates some new market they're going to take over, or some new products they're coming out with. So it's a fun side game.
That's true. And just tech, as Kathleen was saying, because it's tech, you can definitely get into tech at the bottom as a business analyst, and just pay attention to what those guys say, and pretty soon you're going to be a technical business analyst. It's as simple as that. It's just sort of by process of, it's like you just sort of suck it in. It's like what do they call it? Photosynthesis. It's sort of that, you just hang out with them long enough. With healthcare, same thing. You can probably
you pick up the terminology, you pick up the the rhythms to it and the patterns, and before you know it, you're like, why was I ever afraid of jumping into this?
That's right. Another popular one is a business solutions analyst. Same thing. You're looking for solutions. Well, business analysts are doing that all the time. They're looking for gaps. They're looking for ways to streamline, and then they're working on solutions and presenting those potential solutions. So again, same wheelhouse, right, Kathleen?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Pretty much same name. It's just titles, kids. So the skill sets are pretty much the same. One that does diverge a little bit, but again, we do a lot of the same things as data analysts. Now, data analysts, you can start analyzing the data, for example, in a software application if you wanted to create a second generation of that. There's that type of data analyst. You're producing reports, you're analyzing reports, you're spotting, you're sort of looking for patterns in software, in data itself, and you're collaborating with others. I mean, those are some of the skill sets that they identify as a data analyst. Is it geared more towards folks that are in informatics or mathematics or that type of thing? It can be, but again, data analysts are also building tables, back-end databases, but they're also looking at the front end. So you can very well transfer some of your skills to a data analyst before it starts branching into the real senior data analysts that are handling, a lot of metrics and databases and things like that. I think you would agree with that, right, Kat?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other part of the whole, any title with the data part in it, a lot of times they're just doing that to kind of clue you into the fact that you're going to be dealing with a lot of data, and maybe, trying to map things across different back-end systems. So, you know, maybe, you know, this one field is called, you know, well, we'll start with something easy like name. Okay, so maybe, you know, you're working with 3 systems, your system and 2 others, either that are feeding it or receiving from it or both. But in your system, you know, name is 1 field of 50 characters. In this one, it's 2 fields of 25 each. And in this one, it's 3 of 10 each. And so part of your challenge is getting all of that to sync and handle it the right way and all that. That's a real simple example, but that tends to be the type of thing that when you have something that with data in the title, they're just cluing you into this is the type of stuff you're doing, as opposed to maybe flows and that type, you know, like task flows and user flows. It's more about the data processing, the data manipulation. Data processing, there's an old term.
There you go. That is an old term. Well, we're kind of up there. So
but that's what we do. That was
the
term for a long time.
That's right. So,
all right, well,
again...
We tried to shorten the show, and somehow we still ran long, but that's us. We tend to chatter.
That's us. That's what we do.
Okay, so here we go. Amy's got another good one here before we let everything fly. Wait, come back. This one, and this one, and
there's a huge
button.
list of these, by the way, that we get. It's just titles, kids. Yes, it's just titles, kids.
That's what we really should call the show, but oh well.
Some people get really nutty with titles. They really do, and they sort of put all of their self-esteem into a title, and really it just means it's sort of meaningless. The work is what's important. Don't worry about the titles.
Right, and what I always come back to when I'm talking to anybody about this is, really think about it. You spend a lot of your time at work. It might as well be interesting, and hey, maybe you'll get lucky and be fun sometimes too.
That's right. Titles are only important when it comes to the salary.
This is true, and you can always negotiate that.
And you can always negotiate it. So there you go. So that's all I have for you tonight, folks. How about you, Kathleen?
Oh, that's
anything
good.
else?
I'm going to just remind everybody to come and visit our website if you have any ideas or questions. If you want information, we try to keep that up to date so that you've got all the information there. You can also join the mailing list if you want the very interesting and new and exciting email that's going out tomorrow just to our insiders, with the little bonus that's going to be included in there. Join our mailing list. You still have time to get in there. So don't be shy about that. And you can also always find us in all the usual places. So whoops, let me make that one go away. No, I said go away. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. Actually, you know, basically anywhere you can find us. I'm playing over on Twitch. We haven't actually done anything there yet, but I did set up an account just in case we decide to go over there and have some fun, because you never know. All right. Oh wait, Amy's got another one. Amy's so good at this. Here we go. See, oh wait, we've lost your sound. Are you talking and we're not getting sound? Okay, I don't know why I'm not hearing you all of a sudden, Mare, but well, we're wrapping up, so it's okay. Yeah, all of a sudden your volume just dropped and I just bumped you up. Okay. So Amy says that she totally agrees, and that we just covered this on the show we did together. I've already lost track of time. Was it last week or a week ago? It was a week ago. So if you want to go check that out, it's definitely, if nothing else, entertaining. We ran a little long. I have to apologize to Amy's crew for that, but we had a good time. All right. So, folks, we are going to wrap this up. We hope that you had a good time, that if you are in the U.S., you have a wonderful holiday tomorrow, and we will be back same time, same bat channel, next Tuesday. So, take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.
Take care. So long.